I definitely feel like it was the best thing that we chose for us.
Guys, Darcey has completely transformed her face over the last.
We learn about a Bulgarian tradition where you have to walk on super hot coal barefoot.
She has loved harder than anyone in this franchise. She has cried more publicly than anyone in this franchise. She has been broken in front of more cameras, more strangers, and more international audiences than any other woman in reality television history. And yet, every single time, Darcey Silva picks herself up, fixes her hair, dries her eyes, and walks right back into the fire of another impossible love story. Welcome back to the Tell-All Tapes, your home for the most honest, deepest, and rawest 90-day fiancé documentaries on the internet. Today, we are doing something I have wanted to do for a long time. We are going all the way back to the beginning of Darcey Silva's love story, and we are walking through every single man who has stood across from her, looked her in the eyes, and made promises he didn't keep. Frank Bollok, Jesse Meester, Tom Brooks, Georgi Rusev. 4 men, 4 chapters, 4 heartbreaks, and 1 woman who refuses to give up on love no matter how many times the world tells her to. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to see Darcey Silva in a way that the franchise has never shown her before. Not as a punchline, not as a meme, not as a plastic surgery story, as a human being with a story that explains everything. Let's start where every story starts, the beginning. Long before the cameras, long before Jesse Meester, long before Tom Brooks, long before anyone outside of Middletown, Connecticut had ever heard the name Darcey Silva, there was a man named Frank Bollok. Frank was Darcey's first husband, the father of her 2 daughters, Aniko and Aspen. They were married for around 8 years. They built a life together. They had 2 little girls together. And when the marriage ended, Darcey didn't bash him. She didn't drag him on Instagram. She didn't make him the villain. In interviews after the divorce, Darcey said simply that they had just grown apart, that they were both searching for their soulmates, that her relationship with her daughter's father remained good and respectful. She called her daughters her blessings, her angels. She thanked Frank for being part of giving her those 2 girls. Think about that for a moment. Think about how rare it is in the reality TV world for a woman to talk about her ex with grace, with dignity, with genuine gratitude. That tells you everything you need to know about who Darcey Silva is underneath all the filters, the fillers, the drama, the tears. She is a woman who knows how to love. She is a woman who knows how to honor the people who shaped her, even when the love story ended. So she got divorced from Frank Bollok. She took her last name back. She became Darcey Silva again. And then the world and the cameras came for her. In 2017, Darcey signed up for the very first season of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days. The premise was simple. Couples who had met online would travel to meet in person for the first time, with cameras following them. Darcey was matched with a Dutch personal trainer and model named Jesse Meester. He was 26. She was 42. That 16-year age gap was going to be the least of their problems. Jesse was confident, too confident. He had piercing eyes, a chiseled body, an accent that made Darcey weak in the knees, and an ego that made her cry more than once a week. From the very first season, fans saw the warning signs. Jesse criticized Darcey's body. He criticized her clothing. He criticized her behavior at restaurants. He criticized the way she ate. He criticized how she expressed herself emotionally. He acted, on multiple occasions, like he was performing a corporate inspection of his own girlfriend. And yet, Darcey held on, because she believed, deep in her heart, that the man underneath the harshness was the one. So she trained harder. She lost weight. She tried to be everything she thought Jesse wanted her to be. And by season 2, she came back for him, leaner, more polished, more put together, hoping, praying, that this time he would see what she had become for him. And what did Jesse Meester do? He flew to New York City and broke up with her face-to-face, on camera, with the whole world watching, just so he could deliver the breakup in person, just so he could be the one to walk away, just so he could keep his ego intact while leaving Darcey Silva sobbing in the middle of Manhattan. Some men hurt you. Some men leave you. Jesse Meester did both, with audience-level theatrics, in a way that fans are still talking about today. He has since moved on to Jennifer Terrazona, also from the 90 Day Fiancé franchise. But the damage he did to Darcey took years to undo. And honestly, some of it has never fully healed. In the aftermath of the Jesse breakup, Darcey reconnected with a man she had actually met way back in 2015. His name was Tom Brooks. Tom was a British businessman who lived in London. He had the accent. He had the swagger. He had the charm. And critically, he had been a steady voice in Darcey's ear during the worst days of her relationship with Jesse. Tom had been the friend who listened. Tom had been the shoulder she cried on, virtually, from across the Atlantic. And when Jesse finally walked away, it felt almost cinematic that Tom should step into the void. Darcey told Newsweek that Tom had a sexy voice, like James Bond, she said. Fans were charmed. Fans were rooting for her. The franchise was rooting for her. Season 3 of Before the 90 Days was supposed to be Darcey's comeback, her redemption arc, her real love story. And for a moment, it actually looked like it might be. The two of them traveled. They cuddled. They made future plans. They talked about engagement. And then Darcey flew to London. And the entire fairy tale shattered like a dropped wine glass on a marble floor. Tom started complaining about her. He didn't like how animated she was. He didn't like her relationship with her sister Stacey. He told her he needed space. He told her he couldn't give her the love and attention she needed. And by the time season 4 rolled around, Stacey, the loyal twin sister, dropped a bomb on her own sibling. Stacey had to tell Darcey that Tom was seeing somebody else behind her back. Imagine that. You are sitting across from your twin, the only person in the world who shares your face, and she has to look you in the eyes and tell you the man you have built your dreams around is sleeping with somebody else. Darcey confronted Tom. She went to New York. She packed an overnight bag because she was the kind of woman who, even in Heartbreak, still believed that things could be fixed if you just showed up. And Tom, in true Tom Brooks fashion, took her to lunch in Manhattan. He told her he had fallen in love with another woman he had met at Milan Fashion Week. He didn't just confess, he cheated on her and then turned it around to blame her. He said she didn't love him properly. He said she was still hung up on Jesse Meester. He had the audacity to tell her not to screw up her next relationship. He asked her, quote, "Have you put on weight?" Fans. That one sentence broke the internet. That one sentence summed up everything wrong with men like Tom and Jesse. Tom Brooks dumped Darcey in Manhattan, at lunch, after a flight from London, after years of texts and visits and promises. And Darcey, somehow, even through the tears and the cameras and the public humiliation, kept her dignity. She has since said in interviews that the entire experience taught her what she didn't want. And that sometimes is the only gift a man like that can give you. By the time we get to 2020, Darcey is exhausted. She has been through Frank. She has been through Jesse. She has been through Tom. The franchise has shifted. TLC has given her and her twin sister their own spin-off, called Darcey and Stacey. And in this new format, Darcey has a chance to introduce the world to someone different, someone quieter, someone gentler, someone Bulgarian. His name is Georgi Rusev. Georgi is a massage therapist living in the United States. He met Darcey through mutual connections, and from the moment he appeared on screen, fans had two reactions at once. One, he seemed sweet. Two, something seemed off. Maybe it was that he was technically still married to his previous wife when he first started seeing Darcey, a fact that came out later and rocked the relationship. Maybe it was the constant breakups, the constant reconciliations, the constant push and pull that defined their entire on-screen romance. They got engaged. They broke up. They got engaged again. Darcey threw the ring at one point. Then they got back together. Then they broke up. Then she got the ring back. The Georgi years on Darcey and Stacey were a roller coaster that gave fans whiplash. But in November of 2023, the roller coaster came to a stop. Darcey and Georgi finally got married. Privately. Beautifully. With all of Darcey's daughters and Stacey by her side. The franchise breathed a collective sigh of relief. Maybe Darcey had finally found her one. Maybe Georgi was finally the one who would keep his promises. Maybe. But then came 2025, and the cracks started showing again. Darcey and Georgi were brought back to 90 Day Fiancé, happily ever after season 9. And what looked like a settled marriage on the outside turned out to be deeply, painfully unsettled on the inside. The first big issue? money. In episode 14, Darcey revealed to Stacey on camera that she had to involve their father, Mike Silva, just to get Georgi to pay his half of the rent. Georgi had been ignoring her texts. Darcey said, quote, "I paid the rent. I paid the bill. I paid for cable, electric, all that stuff. Food going out. Whatever. Traveling. That's not okay. Just be giving and gracious about it." Stacey sat across from her sister with a look of disbelief that pretty much summed up the fans' reaction at home. Then came the Bulgaria trip. Georgi had not been back to his home country in 13 years. He invited Darcey to fly with him to meet his family for the first time. It was supposed to be a beautiful moment, a bonding moment, a homecoming. Instead, on the very first night with Georgi's family, Darcey opened up about the issues in their marriage. She told Georgi's parents about their fights, their struggles, their communication breakdowns, and Georgi was mortified. The next morning, he was cold and standoffish. He told Darcey, quote, "You shared all the things with my mom on the first day and shared all the problems we have." Darcey defended herself, saying she wasn't trying to throw him under the bus. She just wanted help. She said they were at a phase in their relationship where something needed to give. But the damage was done. The Bulgaria trip became the unofficial turning point of the season. Then came the tell-all, the third episode of the Happily Ever After Season 9 tell-all. Darcey and Georgi sat down, surrounded by their castmates, and rehashed every single fight from the season. And then Georgi dropped a confession that shook the room. He said that thoughts about having children had been troubling him. Children. Fans. Darcey is 50 years old. She has been clear since day one that she is not going to have biological children with Georgi. He knew that when he proposed. He knew that when he married her. And yet, sitting at the tell-all, he admitted that he had been quietly thinking about wanting kids of his own. Darcey looked at him like he had told her he was leaving for Mars. She said, quote, "If that's what he really needs and wants in his life, I would rather walk away and live the rest of my life for me. Walk away." Did you hear that? After Frank Bollok, after Jesse Meester, after Tom Brooks, after everything Darcey has been through, this woman is finally ready to say the words that none of us thought she could ever say. I would rather walk away. That sentence, my friends, is the most powerful sentence Darcey Silva has ever said on television. And it might just be the sentence that defines the rest of her life. In the Season 9 finale, Darcey and Georgi had the conversation everybody had been waiting for. Georgi admitted he was at a breaking point. He said he needed to figure out what he truly wanted for himself. Darcey told the cameras she was considering signing divorce papers. Stacey, sitting beside her, used the phrase twin divorce, hinting that both her marriage to Florian and Darcey's marriage to Georgi might be ending at the same time. The conversation about citizenship came roaring back. Both Florian and Georgi had received American citizenship in recent years. Both marriages started crumbling shortly after. Coincidence? Fans don't think so. The franchise has been quietly screaming about the citizenship pattern for years. And finally, on the tell-all, the Silva twins themselves said it out loud. So where does this leave us? Where is Darcey Silva right now in 2026? The honest answer is that nobody outside her inner circle knows for sure. As of the latest interviews, Darcey has said that things with Georgi are, quote, a bit on the rocks, but she is glad to survive the storms with her husband. She has admitted they are working on communication. She has not officially filed for divorce, at least not publicly. Fans are watching every Instagram post, every story, every emoji, every absence of a wedding ring in a selfie. Because the question hanging in the air is this: is Darcey Silva finally going to be alone? And is alone the worst thing for her or the best thing? Here's what I want you to understand about Darcey fans. She is not a fool. She is not desperate. She is not pathetic. She is something much more interesting than that. She is a romantic, a genuine, hopeful, vulnerable, foolish in the best way romantic. She is the woman who, in the year of our Lord 2024, will still pack an overnight bag before going to confront the man she loves. She will still believe that this time, this man, this conversation will be the one that finally works. She is the woman who keeps writing love letters in a world that has gone digital. And maybe, just maybe, the men she has chosen have never quite known what to do with that kind of love. Jesse Meester wanted a trophy. He found a person. Tom Brooks wanted a fantasy. He found a real woman. Georgi Rusev wanted a life. He found a real partner. And Darcey, through every one of these chapters, has wanted only one thing: to be loved the way she loves. Big, loud, public, devotional. And nobody, so far, has been able to match her. Not because she's too much, but because she's too rare. So I want to leave you with the question. Fans, which one of Darcey's exes was actually the worst? Was it Jesse Meester, the toxic Dutch trainer who broke her down piece by piece? Was it Tom Brooks, the British businessman who cheated on her at Milan Fashion Week and then blamed her for it at a lunch in Manhattan? Was it Georgi Rusev, the husband who may or may not be using her for citizenship and who just admitted he might want kids she can't give him? Or was the real heartbreak the marriage with Frank Bollok, the quiet one, the one we never see, the one she still talks about with grace? Tell me in the comments below. And tell me this too. If Darcey Silva called you on the phone tonight, sobbing, asking what to do next, what would you say to her? Would you tell her to fight for Georgi? Would you tell her to walk away forever? Would you tell her to swear off men entirely? Would you tell her she deserves better? I want to read every single one of your answers. Because the truth is, fans, Darcey Silva needs us right now. Maybe more than she ever has. The whole franchise built itself on her tears, and the least we can do is be honest with her about what we see. So drop your verdict in the comments. Type Team Darcey if you've been ride or die since season 1. Hit that like button if this hit you somewhere real. Subscribe to the Tell All Tapes for new 90-day Fiancé documentaries every single week. And share this with the friend you've been debating Georgi with for the last year. They need to see this. This was the Tell All Tapes, and we'll see you in the next one.